today we are raising awareness. We are protesting against the war in Ukraine. We are supporting our friends, family, relatives who are still in Ukraine fighting, hiding in bomb shelters, some of them unfortunately, but we are still to raise the awareness on what's happening in the country at the moment.
What kind of message, I mean, are you getting news from your family or friends at the moment?
We are getting, everybody who's gathered here today are constantly in constant touch with their families and friends via WhatsApp, Messenger, etc. Everybody's watching news, Ukrainian news, and the situation in Ukraine that's at the moment. In my hometown, I haven't had any connection with my family for the last 18 or 20 hours because the network lines were damaged. There was no electricity, there was also no water, so I didn't know what was happening. This morning I got a call from my grandmother, and she told me that the powers are and everything is working. The city is quiet, but there were a lot of fighting going in yesterday. There were bombings, so they had to hide in bomb shelters. I know that one part of the city was controlled under Russian forces, other part was controlled by Ukrainian forces, and different parts of city was in constant fight. They saw tanks from their windows, there were armored vehicles, there were just infantrymen walking through the city. It is very sad to see that. I know the town, I know the streets where she's talking about, I know those shops, those corners, those parks. However, I know that Ukrainian military, Ukrainian people will prevail. They will fight strong. The morale is extremely high throughout the whole Ukraine, and we pray and we support them with everything that we want. And even this protest is a big, massive support for Ukrainian people. It's raising awareness in Ireland, in Europe, everywhere throughout the world. And I'd like to use this opportunity to thank Irish people for the massive support that we and Ukrainian people received over the last number of days. It's from the government. First of all, the visas were cancelled for Ukrainians, the money that Ukrainian government received from the Irish government, the organizers of this protest, support from our friends, work colleagues here in Ireland who are in constant touch, asking how we are. They are supporting with money, with clothes, food, which is so important in this difficult, dire situation.
If you have a message to the politicians, what would that message be?
Well, for European politicians, for the politicians in US, Canada, around the globe, first of all, it's massive words of thank you. We are grateful for the support that they've done. For Ukrainian politicians, they did a brilliant work in contacting everybody. They're ringing 24/7, trying to disconnect Russia from SWIFT, from impose harsher sanctions on Russian banks. So massive thank you for them. To Russian politicians and Belarus politicians as well, to stop the war and stop the atrocities that are currently going in Ukraine. To Russian and Belarus people to stop fighting, go in the protest, share what's happening in Ukraine, share the true news, stop being blind. So open your eyes, open your ears, go out, protest, and it started to make an action in Belarus and Russia as well.
Mr. Mayor, how important is it today that we show our solidarity with what's happening in Ukraine?
I think it's vital that we show our solidarity and condemn without question the outrageous attack on Ukraine by Vladimir Putin and his troops. A peaceful democratic nation just trying to live and get on with their lives the same as us here in Waterford, and they're being attacked, bombs, missiles, cruise missiles. It's absolutely disgraceful what's going on, and I condemn it in the strongest possible terms. We're here to show our solidarity with the people of Ukraine who live here in Waterford, and at least we're showing the rest of Ireland that we're prepared to stand up, and we're not going to accept the simple invasion of Ukraine by Putin and do nothing about it.
And you, as first citizen, you were saying that you actually sent a letter of support to the Ukrainian ambassador?
I did. Ambassador Garasko, I sent a letter on behalf of the people of Waterford expressing their solidarity with Ukraine at this very difficult time, and I've also hand-delivered a letter to one of the leading Ukrainian people who live here in Waterford. She has a business here in Waterford, expressing again our condemnation and our I suppose, offering our support and our prayers for her family who are trapped in Ukraine at the moment. And I think any assistance possible that we can give to Ukraine should be done so, and done so immediately.